Not in the dock, though. Should the Pats fire Mike Vrabel?
Oh my goodness.
The NBA hasn't changed things with Shea. How would you fix that?
I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of times where he does get fouled. There's a lot of times where, there's minimal, sometimes zero contact, and there's fouls being called.
Do you want Arteta out? Like, are you getting to that point?
I've been at that point, dude. If we're bottling it from this position, how can you not? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the From the Stands podcast. We are back from episode number 102 on this April 22nd of 2026. As you guys can see, Fezzy Boy over there a little tired as he yawns and covers his face as he does whatever over there. It's a little late, a little 10:30 p.m., but we are back for another episode.
Grinding.
So, Fezzy Boy, tell the people what they got to look forward to in this here episode.
What up, Sammy Boy? Yeah, I'm tired. It was a hot one today, dude. We were doing a deck. It was like 16 feet in the air, ginormous deck. But
Ooh, that's
luckily,
big.
luckily I was in the shade for most of the day, which helped. But still a hot one. But
It's gonna get a lot hotter there, buddy boy.
Yeah, unfortunately. But like Sam said, we're gonna dive into what we got coming up in the episode. But before we do that, if you guys could please like and subscribe on the video here on YouTube, and then go follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That would be much appreciated. Today we're going to talk a little NFL draft, as it has snuck up on us. Sam and I kind of came to the realization like 2 days ago that oh shoot, we have not been keeping up with any mock draft, or at least I haven't been keeping up with any mock drafts or anything like that. Going to dive into that, kind of dive into who we want our teams to pick up in the upcoming draft tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, by the way, which is super dope. And then we're going to talk some basketball with obviously the NBA playoffs in full swing right now. Some surprises happening. Magic kind of getting a game over the Pistons there early. Lakers playing really, really good right now. LeBron, Kennard doing well in the absence of Luka and AR. And then, as always, to finish the pod up, we'll hop over the pond and preview the Champions League semis, talk some Prem with Arsenal slipping, with the title slipping out of their hands.
Freaking called it.
I know. We'll dive into that, and Sammy Boy will be able to voice his own frustrations. Chelsea fired their coach over the week, so we'll dive into that, kind of same old, and then we'll talk some domestic cups, and we will get out of here. But Sammy Boy, even though I am tired, I'll try to bring the energy tonight. But what's been up with you? We were kind of both agreeing that this week has gone really, really fast for some reason. Just felt maybe the warm weather or something. I don't know. What do you guys say about it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's 2 or 3 weeks, really. It felt like they've gone by decently fast, which is nice. But then you get to the weekend, and it also goes by fast. So
yeah,
it's kind of two sides of the coin there. But yeah, not too much going on. I think I kind of alluded to this last week, but finally finished up a nice little project for Joy. Had some nice
those flower beds.
Yeah, the raised
those
beds.
Look sick, dude. She posted some pictures on Instagram, and I was like, dude, those turned out so good. Yeah. Did you put them on the side of the house where the garage is? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I was on that side.
That's
it was just spot. Like super ugly, like spearmint and just overgrown stuff. So we ripped all that out and put in those beds, and put it. All the dirt is in there now, so they're looking pretty nice. So finally got that done. So it's kind of what I've been.
Is it a flower bed? You said?
Yeah, it's a flower bed. There's going to be like a place there'll be like flowers, and she's also going to try to like grow some vegetables and some strawberries and some stuff like that. So, yeah, so that's in there. She's just hoping something grows in there. So, but yeah, that came out really good. So, yeah, it's kind of what I've been busy with the last several days.
That's sick. Yeah, I saw those and I was like, Sammy Boy's in his bag, man. Well, you made your you're a very good craftsman. You made your bed as well, and I thought that turned out super good too. So
that was one of my proudest accomplishments.
So good.
It looked really good. And then I made the the tables out in my garage. I was proud of that
Yep.
one too. So
Yep.
there's actually a guy from my work who saw the bed, and now
Mhm.
he wants me to make one for him.
Hey, there
So I
you go.
might have
What
some.
can you charge for that? You could
I
probably
don't
charge
know.
pretty
I'll
good for
have to
that.
yeah, exactly. I'll have to get up a quote for him and see what I can get. But
Dude.
yeah, little summer project in a couple months for sure.
Yeah,
So
a little side business going on there.
yeah,
Make a little extra cash. That's sweet.
exactly. We'll see
Yeah.
if it explodes, and I just could quit my job. You know.
Quit your job, but then you'd have to give up the coffee shop under in your building.
It's
Are
true.
you a
It's true.
coffee drinker? I forgot to ask that. We were talking that last
Yeah,
week, but
I like
okay.
coffee.
Do you
I mean, I'm
frequent
not
the
like I need two a day kind of guy, but yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
drink on the reg.
Nice, nice. Yeah. I
Big
I got into it
iced caramel
over
latte guy. So
Ooh, very nice, very nice. They just put so in Greer there's a Flying Fox coffee. It's our favorite spot to go. And there
nice.
was a coffee shop that was up the road, small little coffee shop that went out of business, and they put a Flying Fox in there. And it's literally like 2 minutes up the road, and Taylor and I are super happy. Stopped there today because it was a long
Nice.
day at work, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get some coffee. They have this
Yeah.
latte called Violet Eyes, as like it's just coffee, but it has like vanilla. It's like vanilla, coconut, brown sugar, and something else. Like a bunch of like
Ooh,
flavors that I really like. It's
thing's
top
loaded.
notch. Flying Fox, if
Nice.
you're, they're not gonna see this, but I like your coffee, so keep it up, keep it up.
There's us begging for sponsors again.
I know. If anybody watched the vlog, there was like a whole little like clip where we were just like, anybody just sponsor us, but regardless, yeah. But I didn't get into drinking coffee until like it was like recently when the colder weather hit and working construction outside, like
Mhm.
like you gotta warm up your hands and warm up somehow
For
when you
sure.
don't have any heaters on the job. So yeah, definitely a big time coffee drinker. But with that being said, we're going to dive into the episode and we'll get into it right after this. If you're anything like me, you love hats, but not just any hats. You want a hat that looks good, but is also made with quality materials as well. And you want it to fit just the way you want it to. That's why we've partnered with Cowboy Revolution Apparel Company to bring you guys hats that do just that. I love my Cowboy Revolution hats. They're rugged and aesthetic. So whether I'm at work or podcasting, I know my hats will hold up and look great. They not only have hats, but a wide variety of apparel and accessories as well. Cowboy Revolution is also a veteran-owned and operated company, so you know where your money is going and you can feel good about it. Get your hats and apparel today at cowboyrevolution.com and use the code FTS15 for 15% off your order, or use the link in the description below. That's FTS15 for 15% off your order today.
Kicking off the pod with a little NFL talk, as Fezzy Boy was alluding to a little bit earlier. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL draft. Not too much going on these last several weeks except for draft talk, which we're going to get into here in just a second. But we're actually going to kick off the first part of this segment with a little trade going on. Really the only thing that's going on outside of the NFL draft. A few days ago, Dexter Lawrence heading to the Bengals in a pretty big trade. The Giants agreeing to a trade to send Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals. In return, the Bengals give up their number 10 pick.
What are they doing?
Absolute insanity in my mind, but they are getting a pretty legit player in return. But he has had some injury struggles over the last couple seasons. But when he's at the top of his game, he is a pretty elite player. But man, giving up that 10th pick,
That's
I don't know if I would have
tough.
been doing that, Fezzy Boy. What say you?
Yeah, this just shows that a bad franchise, like this is the reason that they will stay bad. This isn't like totally my analysis because when it's not like actual NFL season, there's other things to keep up with. So I did see this come across my timeline, dove into it a little bit, but I was just like, that just seems like pretty heavy for, again, this player will help them like in the time being. Like it's definitely an add, like it's a plus to the Bengals, but they're
Mm-hmm.
giving up a 10th round pick, which would get you somebody for the future. And so it's kind of like them kind of, I don't know. There's not a lot of forethought into this kind of trade. It really helps the Giants out. They own a bunch of picks in the first round. They're picking like, isn't like 6th and 10th now in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah, they've
That'll
added
help.
to the really 6 or 7 teams that have 2 first round picks now. So
Yeah, that's gonna help them out a ton, especially with
hmm
Harbaugh. He's gonna be able to make a lot of moves early in his tenure there. So,
for sure.
obviously, I think the Giants won the trade. Again, it helps the Bengals for the time being, but he is aging. Like you said, he does have injury issues like in the past. So it is a decreasing asset, to put it in those terms. For a 10th round pick is that's kind of steep, but good for the Giants. They've been bad as well for a little bit now. Obviously, the whole Saquon Barkley debacle a few years ago where they traded him away and he ends up winning a Super Bowl. Should have won an MVP as well after having a crazy running back season. But yeah, I'll
Yeah.
be interested to see what the Giants do with those picks. That's kind of what we're going to be talking about in this segment. Just all the different things going down in the draft
Yeah.
tomorrow night, right?
Yep, tomorrow night, first round.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I definitely agree. I think everybody knew that the Bengals needed to get better on defense. Everybody was screaming at them all offseason basically
Yeah,
to, address the defense, which they are doing. But in my opinion, they're going about it completely the wrong way. And for a team that's already
absolutely.
pretty strapped for cash, paying all those, star receivers and quarterbacks on the offensive side to have to obviously once they traded for him, they signed him immediately to a pretty rich extension. So they had to do that as well. In my mind, you keep the pick, and
Yeah.
you go defense with a top 10 pick there, and just kind of try to build through the draft instead of trading for a guy. You're trading assets, and also like I said, he's kind of been in and out of the lineup the last couple of years. Sure, you're getting a really really good player, but you're also
Mm-hmm.
kind of getting a guy that's not necessarily super super reliable and can stay on the field for all 17 games. So definitely a little bit of a give and take there. I definitely think the Giants won the trade. And how about the Giants, man? Like obviously they've have some hope for the future now with Dart at quarterback if he can stop getting
Mm-hmm.
concussions, and then if Scat can come back. And give them that spark that he did at the beginning of the season. And Malik Neighbors can stay on the field. Obviously, there's a lot of injuries on the offensive side, especially. But
Yeah.
I love the Giants adding, another pick in the first round to kind of play with there. And their defense isn't terrible. Obviously, they had Dexter
No.
Lawrence. They have several guys who were former first rounds at one point. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of excited to see what the Giants are going to do this year. But yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely think
totally.
the Giants won that trade. If I had to pick a winner,
Yeah,
so yeah,
absolutely.
that's really the only trade that kind of happened in the last several weeks that's notable. Without further ado, we'll kind of get into a little NFL draft preview. We're gonna give kind of
Go.
our wish list of players, maybe some scenarios that both of our teams could go down. Obviously, my Cowboys with a little bit more flexibility as we have 2 first round picks, possibly trading up. A lot of talk about that the last several days. But start off with Fezzy Boy and the Steelers. Steelers drafting all the way down at what, 21? Yeah,
Something like
21.
that. Yeah.
So not a ton of flexibility there. Kind of a lower pick in the first round. But who are some guys that you kind of had your eyes on, and who would you want them to take?
Yeah, a lot of people have us taking Ty Simpson. A lot more people are higher on him than I thought originally, which I find it like weird. Like
Mm-hmm.
at first he wasn't like that highly touted. Just obviously he played at Alabama, and back in the day, like if you played at like Ohio State or in Alabama or what have you, it's like of course we're gonna take you in the first round if you're a decent quarterback because you play at one of those programs. But with NIL and everything, it's like we don't have to directly feed from the SEC anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I absolutely, dude, I don't want us to take Ty Simpson. I really don't. I would rather go with Will Howard. I get it. Like you have, what's his face for ESPN, Orlovsky's like really high on Ty Simpson, and he has like these trades, yada yada. And yeah, sure, I didn't play NFL. I didn't play quarterback in the NFL like Orlovsky or anything, but like I don't know, man. It's just gonna be. I feel like there's just no real good answer for after Aaron's gone, and we're not even guaranteed if Aaron's gonna be there.
No,
So,
not yet.
um, I
There's
I,
some
I
news
mean,
that
I
came
think
out today that he hasn't decided yet whether or not he's going to come back.
I know he's just
Which-
leading us along, same song and dance
it's
as
like the
last year.
80th time you've seen that headline in the last 3 years.
Yeah, we were talking off pod. That quarterback from Arkansas, what's his name?
Taylor Green.
Talon Green. I would love to get him.
He's a
No
dog.
idea where he's being mocked right now, but if somehow we could pick him up and get like, again, I am going to bang my head on a desk forever. As long as Jackson Dart is good and looks like a franchise quarterback, I'm going to be mad. Like the only good thing about him getting all these concussions is I can sit there and be like, well, he's always hurt, so glad he's not a Steeler. It's like, if he wins like an MVP and they win a Super Bowl or something, I'm gonna be so pissed. But
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that doesn't happen. I hope we don't miss out on a quarterback because Aaron just has us like by the throat and we're just waiting to see what Aaron Rodgers is gonna freaking do. Because yeah, that would be very upsetting to go 2 drafts, especially with the draft being in Pittsburgh. I really hope we take a little bit of a swing. Going into the draft a few months ago before free agency hit, I was like, we definitely got to go wide receiver. We need someone opposite of DK. It can't be one dimensional with DK. Then we got Michael Pittman from Indy, so it's like, all right, that kind of takes care of that for the most part. So now we can reach a little bit for a QB. Like we don't have to find a for sure wide receiver in the first round. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on everything. I ranted. Funnily enough, I ranted all about this like right before we hopped into this segment because Sam asked me. I was like, I'm wasting all my analysis on this right now, but that's kind of where I see the Steelers and like what we need right now. We definitely need a quarterback for the future. I don't want it to be Ty Simpson. I will gladly be wrong if it's him, but I would like us to go for someone else, maybe like that Arkansas QB or something along those lines. Get someone more dynamic, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't think Ty Simpson has any business going in the first round, but
No, no.
he probably will just because is he like the second quarterback really, I guess, after Mendoza that's
Yeah.
kind of going to be hanging around. A lot of people are saying there might be a huge drought on QB that might
Uh-huh.
last to the middle of the second round, which I think would be
Which is
warranted just cuz
crazy because this was supposed to be one of the
exactly.
loaded QB classes, but then everybody like who's that kid from LSU?
Drew
Uh,
Aller.
Drew out.
Oh,
No, Drew Aller's
LSU
from
Nussmeyer. Garrett Nussmeyer.
Nussmeyer and Klubnik and
Mhm.
Aller, like you said. Those guys were supposed to be like these crazy prospects coming out of, and then they all had really really bad years. Aller got hurt. He's the Penn State quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And
But
their
he was
season was
sucking
bad
before that
anyways.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's not as good as people projected this draft to be. But anyway,
Yeah,
sorry
the
to cut you
the
off.
less
But
the last several years everybody keeps saying that next year's the draft, next year's the draft, next year's the draft, and then it never really pans out that way. Obviously this year was a perfect example of that. Everybody's talking about next year already with Arch Manning and all them boys. We'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I could definitely see kind of a big gap here where no quarterback is taken until the second round. I'm not a huge believer in Ty Simpson, so
no,
I
yeah,
I
he's
wouldn't be taking him super high. I mean, I think you guys might be able to get him unless somebody's reaching in the second, maybe even third round, or if you wanted to go to a different direction. I don't think Ty Simpson is that much better than really any of the other quarterbacks right below him. Like you just mentioned,
no.
a Nussmeyer or some of those other guys that are kind of hanging around as far as quarterbacks go. Maybe even like Carson Beck. If you're interested in him.
Yeah.
You said Taylor Green. He's a little bit farther down. I think he's more projected a fourth or a fifth, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely got some other guys in there that I think would do just as. I think Garrett Nussmeier is actually a better, like a ready-made NFL quarterback a little bit more than Ty
I
Simpson, to be
agree.
honest. So,
I agree. Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't get the Ty Simpson hype, but I get the Alabama and
Me
Orlovsky
either.
trying to push him and everything. But yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty excited for this draft just because of all the names I feel like that are up there, especially in the top 10 to 15. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess I'll kind of give my 2 cents about my Cowboys
Yeah,
now.
let's hear it, Sam.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've had 2 first round picks, which is like huge. So like I just love the flexibility that we have with that. A lot of the guys that I want are probably going to be gone after the first like 7 or 8 picks, though.
Mm,
Guys like David Bailey from Texas Tech. Like, obviously, we're going full defense. Like, I'm not mentioning anybody that's on offense for good reason because we
mm-hmm.
don't really need anybody on offense, to be honest.
No.
I would love Caleb Downs, but he's probably going to go in the top 6 or 7. Like I said, David Bailey's probably going to go second from Tech. Sonny Styles is the guy that everybody's saying might slip a little bit just because Ruben Bain, everybody likes Ruben Bain
Mm-hmm.
at that position a little bit better than Sonny Styles. So that's a guy that I'm looking at 12 that might slip a little bit that we can get there. So that's kind of my number one. I'm hoping he slips down a little bit to number 12. A lot of people are talking about the Cowboys moving up, like maybe consolidating those first first couple picks, or maybe even throwing in a second and moving up into the top 10. I don't want us to do that because I feel like we usually draft pretty well, and holding on to a second first round pick is going to be way more important than, sliding up and getting somebody else, unless we're getting like an absolute blue chip, like we're moving up into the top 5 and grabbing like, the David Baileys or even Caleb Downs. I could justify trading our at second or a late first for Caleb Downs. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna be really, really good in the
Dog.
NFL. So
Yeah.
Ruben Bain's gonna go, top 6 or 7, like I said. So Sonny Styles is kind of my wish list there. As far as our second pick goes, I would love anybody. Avion Terrell from Clemson. He's a really good corner. TJ Parker, who's an edge, also from Clemson. I would love him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just really anybody that's gonna play defense at a high level, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Um, so we just got to go really defense heavy these first 2 or 3 picks. Jacob Rodriguez is another guy, also from Tech, that I think is going to do really well in the NFL. He's only projected in the second round right now, which is a little bit surprising just based on the season that he had. But I wouldn't mind if we took him, maybe as a late first, depending on what we do with that other pick, maybe early second round as well. So I know everybody probably thinks I only watch Clemson and Texas Tech games, but those are, I mean, when their defenses are so loaded, those are kind of the guys that I've been zeroing in on. So that's kind of my wish list. But I just really don't want us to give up. I want us to pick 2 players in the first round for sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we do have we have some pieces on defense. Like we still have, Demarion Overshown at linebacker. We still have obviously Quinnen Williams at D tackle. So,
Mm-hmm.
if we just fill in around there, obviously secondary is going to be a huge gap that we'll need to address, but get a couple edge players, redo the secondary, maybe a linebacker or 2 here and there, and develop some dudes. I think we'll be right there. So
Yeah, yeah. You definitely you gotta go defense. You have to. If you
yeah,
had any sort of serviceable defense last year, dude, you guys are in the playoffs, and your offense was good enough to win a Super Bowl.
oh,
Like,
absolutely.
like you plug and play that offense with like, I don't know, who was like a mid-tier defense last year. Like, I don't know.
Mm,
I feel like it was like either really good or really bad. Like, what was a good
Rams.
like? Yeah, like the Rams. I would even say that's an
Rams are
above
above
average.
average. Yeah,
I would say that's above average, but still, like you just plug and play with like a decent. Like heck, I almost said the Jets, but the Jets literally didn't have a turnover all freak or an interception. It was like a full season without an interception, like first time in NFL history or something like that.
Packers.
So Packers, there we go. Like a halfway decent defense, and bro, you guys are winning a freaking Super Bowl. That's a little hyperbolic, but you get my point. You guys were scary good. You almost won games when your defense was giving up like 40 points a game.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah,
I
welcome
would have
to
killed for an
being a
offense like
Cowboys
that.
fan. Yeah, we were literally putting up like 35 to 40 points a game and still losing. Like we had a 40-40 tie against the Packers. Like
Yeah.
absolute
Yeah.
insanity, dude.
I forgot about that game. That was a crazy game.
Was.
That was a good game for my fantasy. I had Jordan Love playing that game. So, but I think I lost to
I love how
Micah,
you
who had
remember
Dak.
your fantasy games.
I just remember because I still lost to Micah, and I think Micah was playing like Dak Prescott at the time, and so I still lost, even though Love had like 30 points or something like that. Something stupid.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, that was quite the game. But yeah, sounds like I don't know. We have all these wishes of what our teams are going to do, and they're not going to do a
They
single
almost
thing that we
never pan out. Yeah.
never do. Like I want the Steelers to take a swing, especially with the draft being in Pittsburgh. Like you feel like they want to make, do something kind of, big and wild, but they're not going to. They're going to play it safe and probably take Ty Simpson, and everyone's going to the amount of boos that imagine getting booed on your draft night.
Yeah.
Like the whole city is just
What they're gonna
absolutely
do
in
is they're gonna
uproar.
draft Ty Simpson like first round, and then the next day they're gonna sign Aaron Rodgers for another year.
I know. And then we're gonna have our freaking QB rooms literally gonna be Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Ty freaking Simpson, dude.
Listen, man, you guys have had a starter there for a decade, and you just won't put him in. Mason Rudolph, man.
It's too busy hitting
he's
Myles
the GOAT.
Garrett with his helmet.
I mean, Myles Garrett is hitting him with his own helmet.
Is that what happened? I don't know.
Yeah.
Always blame
It's
the
been
defensive
so
player.
long now, dude. It's like 2018.
That was forever ago, yeah. Still stuck in my brain. That's the only memory I have of Mason Rudolph and all his interceptions too.
That's
so
what most people remember as well. So
yeah, good old Oklahoma State product, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. Not in the dock though. Should the Pats fire Mike Vrabel?
Oh my goodness.
Get him out of there.
Oh boy.
Man, when
You
we
really
said
wanna
the
get into
Patriots
this,
were
huh?
cheaters, we didn't mean this. This is what we meant, Vrabel. Like, you're supposed to be the
Boy.
good guy.
I mean, are we talking about
memo.
if I personally would fire him or if he should be fired?
He's not gonna get fired,
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying.
obviously it's like all hypothetical. But is that worth being fired over? There's worse things probably that people do. So, and like this, this is like off-field stuff. So it's not like he did something like Belichick did, where he was literally filming other practices of other teams. Like, that's like straight.
He wasn't cheating from a sports point of view. Put it that way.
Yeah, he was.
Right.
But with an NFL insider, bro.
Right, I know.
Like, what are we doing? And she voted for him for Coach of the Year.
Dude, there's like I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah.
But dude, there's zero accountability on like both sides. Like
No.
what the reporter was saying, she was mad she got caught.
Yeah.
Vrabel was just coming out like, again, zero accountabilities, like whatever, just kind of like looking up and down and wherever else just to avoid eye contact. Yeah, it's a rough look right now for all parties involved, I will say.
And I guess to clarify for people that haven't been keeping up with it, Mike Vrabel and is it Diana Rossini? Is that sounds right? That sounds right. She's a reporter for The Athletic, keeps up with the NFL. Anyways, there were pictures of them taken at a resort. They claimed they were with friends. There were no friends in sight in any of the pictures.
Even if they
whatever.
were, though, like.
Even if they were like hugging, holding hands. They looked like
in the pool.
In the pool. So obviously, they were having an affair. They both denied it, but kind of admitted it at the same time without fully admitting it. So, anyways, Diana Rossini she quote unquote quit The Athletic. And obviously I think Vrabel came out with some statement or something, and everyone's talking about it because it basically admitted to it without admitting to it, and now it makes Diana Rossini's
he
whole
said he's had
statement
difficult conversations or whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, I just thought I'd throw that in there and spice up the pot a little bit. It comes across my feed literally like every other sports post at the moment.
Well, dude, he was like silent for so long. Like he was letting Rossini like take all the slings and arrows while he just like sits back. And then after like a week, he finally put out a statement. I was like, buddy, that's a tough look.
Yeah, that is a tough look.
Honestly, I was just kind of surprised because like Vrabel's like, I feel like the ultimate like all ball kind of dude. Like, don't let
Yeah.
distractions off the field get in the way of football, all this stuff. And then obviously you got all that coming out. And I mean, the dude has a family and kids, bro. Like,
Yeah,
and not
that's the
even like,
tough part of
he's
it.
split from his wife or anything. He was just like he's like actively married. Like, and
Ugh.
so is she, which makes it even
Yeah.
worse. Have you seen the videos that have come out about Rossini like trashing her husband too?
Yeah, I
Those
have.
are
Yeah, I
wild.
have. Yeah. And actually
So
the pictures have come out, and I think allegedly they're by a private investigator hired by her husband. Like, good
yeah,
for you, dude. She's like trashing you on national TV day in and
yeah,
day out. I'm sure your marriage isn't great. I'm sure she's probably done this before. You have the right to hire somebody to expose her, to get her off her freaking high horse. It's like
yeah.
terrible. Like, there was that Get Up clip where she like said something about like how she married like she basically called her husband an idiot, and then
Mhm.
like Greeny had to like tell her to backtrack it on
Yeah.
live TV and be like, we actually want to give Rossini a chance to like take that back and like like re basically redo what she said. And she gave this whole like, oh, I didn't mean that. I was like, you literally just called your husband an idiot on live TV.
I think she
Literally.
called him ugly too.
Yeah. Yeah, like, bro.
Anyways,
Bro, yeah, I have wow, can't talk. Zero sympathy for her at all, and Vrabel as well. Like, you're
yeah.
gonna do stupid things and get caught. Like, this is kind of what
And the
you get.
NFL like doesn't care at all. I think they finally said that they were investigating, but what a
Nah, they ain't
shocker!
gonna
Another
do
Patriots
crap.
scandal, and the NFL looks the other way. Huh?
But the thing is
Seen
like, what
that
are they gonna
before.
do about it? It's like a personal life thing.
Yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
nothing against. I mean, I guess they could look into it because she's an NFL insider, so it's like,
Yeah, I think that's what they
is
were
there
doing. There was just they were looking
insider?
at that. But yeah, I mean, it's their lives technically. Like it's not a good look morally, but it's not like they're breaking rules. But
Yeah, exactly. So
like
I'm sure
NFL
nothing will be
rules.
done, but yeah, every Patriots coach is a cheater, just in a different sense. So just gonna leave that there. I'm sure Peter will love that segment. But anyways, has
Apparently, they're
nothing to
getting
do with.
AJ Brown. So
Yeah, I was gonna say he's cheating on his wife and he's gonna sign AJ Brown next week. So bada bing, bada boom. Patriots life it is, I guess. So sorry to derail the podcast a little bit. I thought I'd just throw that into the NFL portion while we were talking about it. But
it's
anyways,
all good.
anyways,
Anyways, yeah, NFL draft tomorrow. Tune in. I don't think there's
huge.
anything else that we really need to talk about the draft. Mendoza's probably going to go number 1. Everybody kind of knows that already. Talked about Ty Simpson. I don't think there's really anything else that'll be
No?
pressing. Just excited to see some new players on our teams.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And like you said, the draft's probably gonna be pretty cut and dry. Everyone knows Mendoza's going first. He's not gonna be at the draft, which is kind of cool. The reason he's not, because his mom can't make that trip, so he's gonna spend it at home to celebrate with them. Super dope. Rooting for him because I think he's a pretty good guy. Just as long as he's not beating either of our teams. But that's kind of gonna do it for the NFL portion of the podcast. We're gonna hop into some NBA playoffs here next. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. We're going to dive into some of the games that happened earlier, some of the games that happened tonight, and some of the games that are currently going on. We're going to start with one that's current. Thunder versus the Suns, currently halftime. Thunder up, surprise, surprise. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's probably at the free throw line about 50% of the time. So, yeah, we were kind of, before we started this segment, we were kind of talking about how kind of wild that, the NBA hasn't changed things with Shea up until this point, because it is, to your point, pretty loud that he is a foul baiter, and he gets most of his points from that. You were saying just the other night he had 25 points and 15 of those came from the line. So usually the NBA is pretty good about course correcting, as you said, but I don't know. How would you fix that? I don't I don't know the answer to that. Like, do you have an idea of how they would go about that maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of times where he does get fouled just with how he plays and the craftiness and everything. But there's a lot of times where, I mean, there's minimal, sometimes zero contact, and there's fouls being called. So
Right.
I don't know. I would just expect them to be a little bit more cognizant of that kind of contact
Sure.
or lack thereof, and just not give him everything, because it is. I mean, it's especially as a Thunder fan. Like, I don't want to always just see my guys at the like my guy at the line all the time. Like, it's just not
Yeah.
a fun way to watch your team. And we don't need it ultimately. I mean, we're blowing team. Like, I've gone back to this in the MVP conversation all the time. It's like you could take Shea completely off this. We could trade Shea tomorrow, and we'd still be an NBA Finals winning caliber roster.
Yeah.
So the fact that they continue to just give him these kind of bogus calls and stuff is it's just not a fun way to watch the game. Obviously, we won 119 to 84, even if Shea didn't score a point. We're still winning that. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous. I'm not really sure how I'd go about it, but I guess just kind of trying to. Obviously, they're aware of it at this point. It's gotten so loud all the time. Last 2 years, really, it's been like that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not really sure. It's funny that he knows it too, because like I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
that one where Jaylen Brown kind of gave him a taste of his own medicine, like faking a shot,
Uh-huh.
got Shea in the air, kind of baited him, kind of thing. And then he was just kind of like smiling, laughing. He's like, "Yeah, dude, I do that all the time," kind of
All the
thing.
time.
So, but yeah, obviously the Thunder are gonna have no problem against the Suns here.
No.
Probably a sweep, probably a gentleman's sweep at worst. So should be no issues here. But yeah, I'm not really sure how you change that official's whistle going forward.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't, like, especially in season, because it's going to be super noticeable if you start seeing the refs swallow their whistle a little bit more, especially when it comes to like a particular player. Like, I feel like Shea would then turn that around on the league and be like, "Well, I'm being singled out just because of the way I play." And like, if that even if that's true, it's like that reflects badly on the league, I guess, in my opinion. But yeah, he did win Clutch Player of the Year apparently.
He did.
Out of sure,
I'm not
I
really sure how too, because like
yeah,
most of
free
our
throws
games were
maybe.
blowouts. Like
Yeah,
when is he scoring these clutch points? Like
yeah,
I
exactly.
I have no idea. I feel like either Jamal or Anthony Edwards were probably more deserving
Thank you.
of
Yes.
those, but maybe they're just taking into account like, oh, well, he's scoring all our points early to get us in the lead, and then I don't know.
Clutch.
Yeah,
Absolutely clutch. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would have given to either one of those other two
dude.
finalists.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
There
you're
was like
good.
a huge stretch where he wasn't playing like any time in the fourth quarter because we were
Yeah.
killing teams by so much. Like, how on earth did he get that?
Yeah. I don't know if like I don't even know how to look it up, but I bet if we looked at like fourth quarter points, he'd probably be like the lowest out of the other. I mean, Jamal Murray was hurt for a good portion of the season too, so maybe his are low. But yeah, I definitely would have given to like my pick would have been Jamal Murray. And I know it's a regular season award, and we've talked about this before, but the dude is a big lights player. Like playoffs come around, he's like one of those rare exceptions that like he becomes even filthier during the playoffs, and just like a big reason why the Nuggets are so hard to beat in the playoffs because he just takes his game to another level. And then when you have literally the best player in the world and Jokic as this 7 foot behemoth that can shoot, dime, and get to the rim, like
Yeah.
that's just a hard team to beat. And then they have like some of the best role players in the league. Like
Mm-hmm.
Braun can go for like 25. Um, Gordon is another guy. He's probably like their option 3 most of the time, and he's like he can shoot, defend. He's big. He's bouncy. Obviously, being in the dunk competition, uh, he's dynamic in that way as well. So I just feel like Nuggets are hard to beat, but Jamal Murray definitely he would have been my pick. I don't know who you would have picked for that. I didn't I will admittedly I don't watch a lot of NBA during the regular season, but I did not see a bunch of like, oh, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander just hit a big time shot to win the game. Like there's just none
Yeah,
of that.
so the criteria for clutch player is the player who best delivers for their team during the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime with a score differential of 5 points or fewer. So again, I'm not really sure. Like, just being a Thunder fan, like we didn't have that many we weren't in a position that many times to be in a position like that.
Yeah.
Um, but looking at some of the stats here, they're saying that Gilgeous-Alexander led the league with 175 points in quote unquote clutch time. Murray only had 166. 21 assists in those situations. Murray had 30 assists. So they're getting
Oh,
175 points out of him in that clutch time, apparently, out
half
of somewhere. So I don't really know.
half of them are probably free throws because the other team's just slowing the
Yeah,
game
probably.
down.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But
That's wild.
he almost won the thing unanimously. He had 96 first place votes, 1 second and 1/3. So he blew everybody out of the water at that award.
I guess I can't act surprised when I just admittedly said I don't watch a lot of regular season NBA, but still, that's just shocking to me. Like you said, he wasn't even playing fourth quarters most of the time because you
Yeah.
guys were up just like by like 30 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's
Thunder went
crazy.
20-7 in 27 clutch games played. So out of 82 games that we played, we only had 27 that came down to clutch
No way.
time. That's
No
funny.
way. And he
Anyways,
won clutch
we're
player.
spending way
That's
too much time
crazy.
on a freaking clutch player of the year award.
Yeah, for sure. Derailing the podcast again. That's what I'm good at.
Whatever. Moving on. Thunder gonna sweep the Suns more than likely.
Absolutely.
Get them out of here.
Dunzo.
Moving
Dunzo.
on. Lakers.
Lakers.
Lakers shock 2-0 lead, at least shocking in as far as I'm concerned, against the Rockets.
Yeah.
Both Luka and Austin Reeves are out of this series, haven't played a minute in this series yet. But the Lakers still coming away with a couple dubs here. That's really surprising. KD was out for the first game, so you kind of give him one there. But then I thought for sure that with KD back in the fold, that they'd be able to kind of get things going. Just with the amount of young talent they have, guys that can play both ways, and then KD leading the scoring, that they'd be able to get this one. But yeah, not to be. Luke Kennard leading the boys in points. Marcus Smart playing like the Marcus Smart of 5 years ago, which I love to see as an Okie State guy. And LeBron just kind of old faithful. Didn't have a great first game, but definitely came alive more
28
in the
points.
second game. Was super efficient from the field. And yeah, just really able to help a Lakers team that definitely needed him in the first game for sure, but also the second game even more so.
Yeah. Luke Kennard getting them MVP chance. He's playing so good.
I saw a thing today saying that we basically just learned that Luke Kennard has been misused his entire career. That
I
kind of
saw
made me
that same
sad. I
post.
was like,
Yeah. I was
tough,
like,
dude.
yeah, I thought he went to Kansas, but he actually went to Duke. So obviously, blue blood, got my blue bloods mixed up. So he's been a baller for a while. Obviously, can shoot um, the lights out. But if you think about it, with JJ, like Kennard's kind of like a JJ Redick. So like, of course, JJ's gonna know how to use that type of player. Get the max amount out of him. So and
Yeah.
it's helping the Lakers out. I don't think either of us picked. Did you? You didn't pick the
No.
Lakers to beat the Rockets? Yeah, I didn't either. Especially with all
I
their
thought the
injuries.
Rockets were gonna mop them, dude.
Yeah, especially with all their injuries, because I was just like, who's like stepping up? Like I didn't expect this out of Kennard, and then obviously you expect LeBron to up his level, but he even played a bad game in the first one they lost. No KD, but that's not all of it. I mean, the Rockets have a good team. No Van Vliet either. He's been out or is out for
I don't
the
know.
rest of the season? I'm not sure,
I
but they
think
don't
he's
have
been
him.
out.
So yeah, very interesting, very shocking, and the Lakers look good. The Rockets will probably get one, but I don't know. I feel like the
I
Lakers
mean,
are
I
gonna
expect
do
them to
something crazy.
get a lot more, especially if I mean I don't see them the Lakers at least rattling off 4 in a row here if Doncic and AR are going to be out for those games. If Doncic comes back, I don't think AR is going to, but if Doncic at least comes back, I mean, you'd expect them to roll through probably at this point with a 2-0 lead. But if everything stays the same, I fully expect the Rockets to at least make this a series. I don't think the Lakers just roll right through this Rockets team by any means.
Yeah. I'm sure KD will have a monster game at some point.
Yep.
So I'm sure they'll probably keep series pretty close, but yeah, I mean if the Lakers can get past the Rockets and get even healthier, like I'm not sure the timetable on Luka, but dude, they're kind of scary right there in the West. Like, I mean, obviously, Rockets aren't the best team in the West, but still a pretty good test for the Lakers for sure, and
Yeah, for sure.
making it look easy.
We'll see where that series goes from here, but definitely looking good for the Lakers so far. Moving on, keeping it in the West. In my opinion, this is the spiciest matchup in all of the first round matchups. We got the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I picked the Nuggets to go through on this one. They were looking really good after the first game, kind of not huge issues as far as getting through that first game. Pretty comfortable win there with really all their contributors firing on all cylinders. Nikola Jokic with another triple double, surprise, surprise in that first game. Timberwolves never really looked like they wanted to show up. Anthony Edwards, his first game back in a couple weeks, I want to say, didn't look great shooting the ball, but still had 22 points at the end of the day. Nuggets take that first game, but then fall in the second game, rather surprisingly. Again, Nuggets were up really for 90% of that game. But the Timberwolves come back after a pretty rough shooting streak in the fourth quarter by the Nuggets that kind of buried them. Able to steal one in Denver, which was huge. Granted, I didn't watch a lot of this game because it started at freaking 10:30 at night.
I know.
Which is brutal for us East
That is
Coasters, but
brutal.
yeah, this one's a series.
Yeah, this one's good for sure. Obviously, two superstars and Ant and Jokic going at it. So, yeah, Ant had 30 points in that second game. So definitely stepping up there, helping his team. He's another one that plays a lot better in the playoffs too. I really like him. Like maybe not his like the type of person he is. He's pretty immature, just to put it lightly. But as a basketball player and just like he's kind of like the opposite of Shea. Everyone kind of uses him as the opposite of Shea, where he's very ethical in the way he plays, like very just like, I'm going to go at you through contact, not really looking for fouls. I'm looking to just dunk on you all the time, which some of us older people can appreciate. But yeah, I think this one's going to be closer than we thought. We both have the Nuggets coming out of this, obviously, and still can. But yeah, I think the Wolves are going to be a little harder than maybe they thought. The Wolves were built to beat the Nuggets like a few years ago. Obviously, they've changed a little bit, but like that one run that the Wolves had, they got through the Nuggets, and then I think they lost to, was it the Mavericks? And
Yep.
that was kind of due to just bad matchup because they were built to.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
were
we were
built
talking
around
about
beating
that at the
Jokic.
time. It was like,
Yeah.
you build a team around beating the Nuggets and then you fall flat against another good team because you're focusing
Yeah.
so much on one team. But yeah, I agree. I think one of the reasons that the Nuggets kind of fell flat in this one is just because Jamal Murray, you could tell by the end of the game, he was just exhausted. I mean, he played 43 minutes. He couldn't get anything to go down, down the stretch. So hopefully he gets into a little bit better of a game shape there, and is able to be his usual stuff. Still had 30 points, still had a really good first game as well. But you just kind of expect him to be a little bit more clutch down the stretch as well. But I was actually talking to Jared a little bit after the first game, and I said something. I'll get your 2 cents on it too. I feel like the Wolves core is just a little bit played out. Not Anthony Edwards, obviously, but I just think he needs maybe a little bit of a refresh of the guys around him. Like, I don't think you can necessarily win a championship with Julius Randle being your second best player. I think Rudy Gobert, I mean, he's great defensively, but like he's such like a non-factor on the offensive side. I just feel
Yeah.
like you need a little bit more. I mean, he had 2 points this game, dude. Like 1 for 4 from the field.
That's
Like
not gonna do
didn't
it.
make any of his free throws. Like, and that's him. Like that's his career. Like he's never been. That's literally the most you're gonna get out of him offensively, like night in night out. So, there's some good pieces. Like I like Nas Reed. He's a pretty good two-way player, and some of the other guys. But I don't know. Do you kind of agree with that? Do you think maybe needs a little bit of a refresh of kind of some of the pieces around him to try to get a little bit better, or do you think this is kind of the best they're gonna get? They're kind of locked into this core going forward.
I feel like they've locked themselves into it just because they've had so much success in the past few years just with the core that they have. Again, like they were built to beat the Nuggets, but now that they're all getting a little bit older, everything's kind of
But
getting
what is
stale.
success? Is just making it to the playoffs because they still haven't won even a conference title. They've gotten
Right.
there, but
Yeah, that's why I say I think
eh,
they've locked themselves into it, like by putting that expectation on themselves to where they had some success and they were just like, we're so close, we're so close. And they just kept holding on to, we're so close, we're so close. Why blow it up? Why blow it up? And yeah, now I think it's getting to the point, and maybe they should have done it even earlier, but it's definitely getting to the point where it's like, all right, we got to change some things up here. We can't just be taking the same team to the playoffs and falling short every year over and over just because like a few years ago you were like this close. Like,
mm,
um, yeah, I just think that's kind of ridiculous. And yeah, you can't waste Anthony Edwards either. I know he's still super young, and obviously
yeah,
he's still in his prime, but when you have him kind of like the Wemby thing. Like when you have him, like we got to go try to win a championship.
yeah,
Like,
can't waste that window.
yeah. So I guess I would agree. Yeah, just you don't have to get rid of everybody, but like, yeah, some of your older players, get some younger players, shake it up a little bit. You know, and
Yeah.
it hasn't worked yet, so got to try something else at this point.
Yeah, we shall see. Moving on to the Spurs and Blazers. This one took a pretty interesting turn right away. With the Blazers
Uh-oh.
winning that second game, stealing it at the right at the end for a nice 3-point victory, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest news in this game is Wemby going down with a concussion. Pretty ugly fall there.
Yeah.
With Drew Holiday just kind of pulling the chair out from under him and making him fall there, right on his face slash head slash jaw slash just the key hit him. It was
It
awful.
was
It
ugly,
was just, yeah,
dog.
it was rough. So he might be out for 2 or 3 games, which might be GG's on the season for the Spurs if this luck, I guess, keeps going the Blazers' way, because they were able to kind of dominate after Wemby went out. But looks like at least for now we got a little bit of a series here, tied at 1-1.
Yeah, that's crazy that Wemby is already that good at this age. That like his presence is already like his absence, I guess, is already felt. It's like everyone's talking like, oh, the Spurs are gonna lose the series now with Wemby out. It's like, yeah, I guess he does. Like, I
I
mean,
mean, when you're 7-5, how could you not? But
yeah, I mean, he won Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. Literally
unanimous, crazy.
averaging like 3 blocks per game is insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. The stuff that this guy can do is crazy. But yeah, dude, I saw that fall, like the replay of that fall. That was nasty. I think I like visually like tensed up and like cringed when I saw it happen. I was like, dude, I'm surprised he wasn't out cold. Like he hit his face
Yeah.
on the court. Like, oh, it looked so bad, but he was able, obviously he wasn't knocked out, but he tried to get up and he looked gimpy as heck. So hopefully he's back soon, especially for the Spurs' sake. But Blazers are pretty good. Blazers obviously coming out of the play-in game, won their first game, were able to get into the playoffs. So we'll see how this series goes. It's turned into more of one than probably people thought at this point, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I hope the Blazers make that a series. I wouldn't want the Spurs to get through them as easily as maybe some of the other teams thought that they would.
Are
Hopefully,
you
they
a
get a little
Spurs
bit of.
hater?
Not necessarily a hater. They just are our rivals now as a fellow team that's also won 60 games in the West.
It's true.
So yeah, I hope they have a little bit more problems getting through that team, or that they just lose altogether. That would be great too.
There you go.
Yeah. Moving on to the East, Pistons Magic. Talk about a series that kind of took a little bit of a surprise in game one, with the Magic coming away with a nice little 11 point victory there in the first game. Magic kind of just took it to the Pistons, saying, hey, we're not going to be brushed aside here as an 8 seed. Paolo Banchero playing very well on both sides of the both ends of the floor, I should say, and Pistons just really never getting their shot to fall, despite a 39 piece from old Cade Cunningham in the first game.
Shoot.
Supporting cast really wasn't able to give him much, with no one else in double digits except Tobias Harris. So tough game for the Pistons, but they came back tonight with a pretty emphatic victory that was not really as close as the final score indicated, and the final score was 98-83. So you can kind of put that together as you will. So what do you guys say about this series so far? Pistons looking a little shaky in that first game.
Yeah, I think it's more rust. They're also young too, so
Yeah,
just like turning up
Cade
for
hadn't played
a
in a little while either,
yeah, he had a
even though
collapsed
he was the
lung,
only guy
right?
that showed up.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, he hadn't played for a while. Just gonna drop 30 points on you. Sorry. Yeah, I feel like the Magic just got one just because the Pistons hadn't played in a while, kind of to knock the rust off and whatnot. Magic obviously made it through the play-in tournament. They lost their first game and then won their second. So they had come off of playing like two very important games to them, and kind of just caught the Pistons. I think the Pistons are going to win out from here. They're definitely the better team, but yeah, good to see Cade back and better. He was out for a hot minute there at the end of the season,
Yeah,
so good that
collapsed
he's back.
lung.
Yeah, well, how'd that happen? Was it
I don't
during a
know. I think it
game or
was
just
game time. Yeah,
okay? Okay,
pretty sure.
not a whole T.J. Watt little
No,
dry needling
no,
incident.
not that I'm aware of. I think it
Gotchas,
happened during a
gotchas.
game. So
I'm just glad he's back. I like how he plays too.
yeah,
I think we
dude.
both like him a lot.
Yeah, love that guy,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Cavs and
Uh,
Raptors, huh?
Yeah, Cavs and Raptors. Cavs not showing too much struggle with the old Raptors. Comfortable victories both
Wait till the
times.
second
Donovan
round.
Mitchell showing up as he usually does in the first round of a playoff, but not so
Yep.
much after.
Yep.
Same with Harden. Kind of the same
Yeah.
old song and dance. Shows up in the
Yeah.
first couple rounds, nothing after that. So they'll enjoy their several games in the first couple rounds that they'll probably win, and then kind of sputter out from there. But
Yeah.
good for them so far. Raptors just kind of there, man. Ever since Kawhi left, just
It's a
kind of
good way
hanging
of putting it
around.
for sure.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
just there. Like I just think about them. I was like, I looked at it. I was like, oh shoot, Raptors are in the playoffs. I was like, what the
Yeah.
frick? And I was kind of trying to think. Like they got like Grady Dick and what's his name from Duke. He was on the Knicks and then he got traded.
Oh,
Shoot,
RJ Barrett.
R.J. Barrett. And those
He's
are like the
good.
only two players that I know of. Oh, they got Brandon
Well, Scotty
Ingram.
Barnes, Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes, I guess he's their most but that's the thing. He's like their most notable player, and I'm just like, Raptors in the playoffs? What the heck? Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
The Raptors are actually starting Jamal Shed, who's like a March
Oh,
Madness,
really? Yeah.
kind of legend. But he
Houston
played like
product.
40 minutes and had like 3 points. So like, yeah, it's just
Workhorse out there.
they're probably gonna get swept.
Oh,
More than
definitely.
likely. But
Yeah, the Cavs are going to look like contenders because they got Donovan Mitchell. They got two of the most first round hyped players ever. And then they're going to get to the second round. They're both going to disappear. The Cavs are going to look like, how the heck did this team get to the playoffs?
yeah, they're gonna run to the Pistons and get destroyed, which
Yeah.
I'm here for. So, anyways, moving on to Knicks Hawks. This has been a pretty good little
Yeah.
playoff rivalry over the years, even though the rivalry is missing Trae Young since he got traded to the Wizards. But still a pretty good rivalry so far in this series. Obviously, the Knicks taking the first game. With several of their contributors, Jalen Brunson and company, showing up in that game. Hawks made it a game for sure, but just weren't able to kind of be decisive in the end and be able to make shots when it mattered, especially in that fourth quarter. It's kind of a trend that we've been talking about for several of these games on the pod here. But it's a good first game for the Knicks. And they take the first game, but again the Hawks aren't going to back down and got the second one by one singular point with a crazy ending.
Yeah.
Again, Jalen Brunson had basically 30 points, but CJ McCollum showing up for the Hawks. I think a lot of people forgot that he was even over there, but
Yeah.
he's kind of been underrated everywhere he's been. Kind of been that second star, second scorer kind of dude, but came up in a big way in this game here. And Kuminga having 20 off the bench, Warriors gave him up, bro.
I know, dude. Can't get anything right. Kerr out this offseason. That's going to happen. But obviously, we're not talking the Warriors. This one's going to be spicy. I like the Knicks. Obviously, root for them because I'm from New York. But I think like the Hawks have enough to make things kind of scary for them.
Mm.
So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on this series as it goes along because you're never sure what Knicks team you're gonna get. Are you gonna get the world wrecking Knicks who can win a freaking NBA championship, or are you gonna get the
Mm.
lackluster Knicks and they're gonna lose in the first round? So this really could go either way. It all depends. It's more dependent on what the Knicks are gonna do because obviously the
Mm.
Hawks are a good team, made the playoffs, they got good players, but it really is in the Knicks' hands. Like, just don't bottle this, and you're kind of, I wouldn't say set. You got to play either the Pistons or the Celtics at some point. But, yeah, it's really up to them to see what they can do to pull out this series.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think the Knicks definitely have the potential to, at least go to the conference finals, maybe even the NBA finals. Just kind of see how far they can get with a guy that's under 6 foot leading your roster. That's
Yeah,
kind of been a topic of conversation this last week or so. But
yeah.
side note, for the Hawks,
Uh huh.
Zachary Rasacher, I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Okay.
I could not be, but number one pick from 2024. He was a healthy scratch this past game. Only had 2 minutes in game one. Went 0 for 3 from the field. So, and he's kind of been maxed out at like 10 to 15 minutes a game this whole year. Like everybody's talking about how much of a bust he is, like up there with like
Yeah.
Anthony Bennett and some of those number one picks that absolutely flopped. Like I kind of even forgot about him being a number one pick. I
Right.
remember at the time in 2024, I was like, how's this dude the number one pick? But he's one of
Yeah.
those European guys you don't really know much about. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's super high on him, which maybe they're just, going off the Wemby hype and everything. But what do you got to say about a former number one pick as of 2 years ago not getting
Yeah.
any minutes in a playoff game? Like that is insane. And the Hawks still doing good. Like they didn't even need their number one pick. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the draft everyone was talking about, like Europeans taking over because he was projected as the number one pick. And the Hawks took him. Had no idea who he was, like a lot of people did, and were just kind of like, who is this kid going number one?
Yeah,
Um I thought he would be better than this. Like usually if you go number one, it's like you're gonna be serviceable. You're gonna be
you
you're
would
gonna
think.
be playing in the NBA, but not even to get minutes in a playoff game for the Hawks is like, bro, you might end up being one of the worst number one picks in NBA history at that point.
Yeah, it's trending
So
that
yeah,
way.
that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the draft where they had three Frenchmen go in the first six
Yeah,
draft picks for sure. So,
had no
um,
idea who was getting drafted the entire night. I was just like, who is this kid?
yeah, and then Canadians were in there and Lithuanians and Serbians. Yeah, it was a
Yep,
wild
yep,
draft, but yeah, definitely trending that direction of one of the worst number one picks of all time, right up there with Anthony Bennett. But at least Anthony Bennett could at least get on the court. So we'll
yeah.
see. We'll see if Mr. Zachariah or whatever, however you pronounce his name, can make a name for himself here on the Hawks. But moving on to the last series we'll talk about here before getting out of here onto the next segment. Celtics 76ers. I personally thought this was going to be a pretty handy victory for the Celtics, but I do love that this is now a series. Nice little, Northeast rivalry between the Celtics and the 76ers going back a long, long time. Celtics taking game one by like 30 points, and then 76ers coming back and taking game two by about 15. So that might be a pretty spicy series going back and forth. I did have the Celtics going all the way to the finals in my predictions last week. Definitely a little shaky on that now, but I definitely think that they'll get their act together. But I do hope that this is a pretty good series.
Yeah, VJ Edgecombe, I think we're both pretty high on him. Is playing
Yeah.
really well. He's in the running for rookie of the year. Not sure if he's gonna get it, but after
Him
the
and
other
Maxi,
night,
man, 59 points in game
yeah,
two.
dude, they are especially him, fast, dynamic, athletic, fun to watch.
Paul
The,
George is a third option too,
Paul George, a
putting
third
in
option.
20.
Is Joel Embiid even playing? He's hurt, ain't he?
No, he
He's
hasn't
always
played
hurt.
like all year.
All right. Yeah, I kind of figured. I can kind of guess that. Like, not keeping up with the NBA at all. And I just go, yep, Joel's not playing. Just kind of same song and dance every freaking year. But, I mean, good for
Fun
the
fact:
76ers.
Jokic
Yeah,
has
go.
more triple doubles since Embiid won MVP, then Embiid has games played.
No way that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. Anyways, yeah, glad that this is going to be a series. It seems to be like it's going to be a series. A little bit of a tougher test than the Celtics probably thought. Still have the Celtics coming out. I think they'll just have enough as a team. But I don't know. That's just basketball. One or two guys can get hot and it can make things really interesting. So VJ Edgecombe and Maxey playing at a high level. Definitely scary for the Celtics, which also the matchup problems, like especially in the NBA, you just hunt matchups. So you get like Peyton Pritchard in like a pick and roll and you just like go at him the entire game. Like, yeah, love that dude to death. Like, I followed him all through like high school and college, and kind of surprised that he's in the NBA and playing this well. But
Yeah. I think
yeah,
everyone
good
is.
for the 76ers making it a game. Imagine they win though the series.
That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Definitely
Who
make the East
plays
a little bit
who
interesting.
plays the winner of this series? Because obviously you'd want to play. Well, I don't know. Would you
It's the
want to
winner of the
play?
Hawks and the Knicks.
I guess if you're the Knicks, you'd want to play the 76ers, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, if you beat the Celtics, it's like, well, maybe you don't want to play them.
Yeah, but they
So
didn't really have an answer for their big guys.
that's true. They are small without Joel, too.
Yeah,
So yeah, you definitely would want to play the 76ers. Might end up playing them. That'd be a good series as well. So
it's true.
um, yeah, good for good for them. Celtics are. How's Tatum been playing? I haven't watched since he's
Good.
come back. He's
Especially, I mean, he was playing good at the end of the regular season. He had
That's what I thought.
a triple double in there too, which is kind of crazy. But
What the heck?
yeah, uh, but no, he's been playing fine. I mean, he hasn't been the reason that they've lost. I think he's scored at least 20, 25 points in both games that they played in the playoffs. So, um, yeah, he hasn't been bad at all.
Well, that's good. He's like what 8 months off of an Achilles tear, so
Yeah, I mean, I feel
yeah,
like you'd hear about it if Tatum
he
was
was
the
playing
reason they were
bad.
losing bad.
He was playing bad.
Yeah,
All I've heard is he's gonna be the reason that they win the championship. Like everyone's happy that he came back because it's like, oh my gosh, we actually might win this thing, which they
yeah.
could coming out of the East. But
I mean, it was supposed to be a rebuild year and second seed in the East now.
that's always a good
Shows you
season to
Jalen
have.
Brown's him, bro.
That's true. That's true. I just hate that it's the freaking Celtics, man. Them freaking Boston sports fans, dude.
I know.
Can't.
That it's
But
the only Boston team I can actually stomach, though. Like,
that's
I can
true.
get with the history. Like, I'd rather the Celtics win than like the Lakers, if I had to pick between that rivalry. If that makes
Really?
sense. Oh
That's
yeah,
interesting.
freaking
Okay.
hate the
Really,
Lakers, dude.
really just don't like the Lakers. All right. The
No.
more you know. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of a rundown of the goings on in the playoffs right now. We'll keep tabs on a lot of these some of these series are already done and dusted, like Thunder and Suns, but obviously we have some good ones to watch in the first round. See if
The
our picks
Thunder
hold
are
up.
even down 2-0 up, and you're like, it's dusted.
Dude, I just hate how good they are. So I just kind of like have to like agree with it. They're just it's the Suns, dude. Like
Yeah.
one of the worst franchise. They're in the playoffs, so I can't really talk much about it. But anyways, obviously we'll keep tabs on all these different series, and as they come down to the wire, we'll talk more and more about them. But yeah, that'll do it for the basketball side of things. We're gonna hop over the pond here next.
Hopping over the pond as we usually do, with some spicy football talk. We're talking Premier League, biggest game of the season. Some people were saying biggest game of the decade. Not sure I'd quite go that far,
Ooh.
but we do have Man City and Arsenal. Arsenal coming in top of the league, with a game in hand, I should say, with a huge opportunity to go 6 points clear of Man City. Obviously, we had lost, 4 of our last 5 games or something like that in all competitions. Man City flying in the league, flying in domestic cups, in the final of the FA Cup, winning the Carabao Cup against us. They come out victors, 2-1 against my Arsenal Gunners. to get within 3 points of my Gunners with a game in hand, I should
Ah,
say. I'll just throw it over to you, and then I'll give my 2 cents about the
throw it
game.
over to me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you watched or at least watched highlights of the game. With yeah, 2-1 victory here. Cherokee in the 16th, Havertz right back with a Donnarumma howler, and then Erling Haaland with a nice little
Yeah.
striker poacher's goal in the second half.
Yeah, I like watching Turkey
He's
play.
filthy, low key, dude.
He's so
The
good.
disrespect he was showing us in the FA Cup, but I was like, I can't even do
Can't
anything
even be
because,
mad.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Man City though, dude. It really looked like I was just praising you guys for so long. It was like, yeah, these are the games you would usually lose. You know, you've been winning games that you normally draw, dropping points. And, you know, we got kind of close to the end of the season and you guys were still up by quite a bit. And we're just like, is this the year you do it? Feels like it. And then here we are sitting here on April 22nd. And it's right there, coming down to the wire. Manchester City staring you guys down. You guys are sweating. Yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. Is just how did we get here, Sam? Like how did we get here? Just decided to stop playing football, and you know, Manchester
Pretty
City's.
much.
I mean, they're just kind of inevitable at this point. Every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic Arteta choke job. I've been talking about it for months now, not necessarily because we were choking at the time, but just because I mean, I feel like I get on here and say the same thing every month or every week, I should say, but just the way that we were playing in the beginning of the year wasn't to win games. It was more to not lose, and the way that we were scoring was a way that wasn't sustainable by relying on own goals and corner kicks, things that you can't rely on in a normal
Yeah.
course of a game to win you games. So now that you get towards the end of the season and some of the other teams are kind of starting to figure you out, and if there's a blueprint out there, like for example Man City kind of putting that out there in the Carabao Cup final with a 4-man press up top, and then Everton and Chelsea figuring out ways to stop your corner kick stuff and all that kind of stuff, and other teams emulate it. When you don't have that stuff to fall back on as far as scoring goals, this is kind of the situation you end up in by dropping points to teams you really shouldn't be dropping points to. Losing to Bournemouth that was the biggest one,
That's
dude. Like that was
backbreaking.
absolute
Yeah.
killer. Last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're drawing, earlier in the season with the likes of Wolves, who literally have like 5 points on the year, or
Yeah.
drawn with Nottingham Forest, who are kind of relegation battlers down there. Like those aren't great points you want to be dropping. But here at the end, I mean, the Bournemouth's a killer. Obviously, losing to Southampton in the FA Cup, that's just like a mentality thing. Scraped by Sporting these last 2 legs, but
Mhm.
didn't look impressive at all. So we actually played a lot better than we have been playing the last month against Man City, especially in the first half. Like I was texting my Arsenal guys and I was like, dude, where's this been? Like it's great first 20 minutes. Like where's this been the last month? If we played like this against some of the other teams, maybe we weren't going to be in the position that we were. But
Mhm.
ultimately, it wasn't enough against a Man City team that's still really good at the end of the day. They're coming in big form. Um, we did score a goal in the game, but I do think that was kind of lucky. I mean, props to Kai Havertz for pressuring Donnarumma in that situation there, but kind of gave that one to us. We did have our chances though, especially in the second half when Havertz had that free header laid on. I mean, that should be a goal. Like you should be putting
Yeah.
that one, in a corner at least and making the goalkeeper work. There's a one-on-one that Havertz had as well. They probably should have converted. Donnarumma coming up huge on that, but yeah, ultimately just Man City being Man City, kind of gotten out of the habit of being like, Man City's just that juggernaut last couple seasons, but they might be heading right towards that again. Again, Ryan Cherokee, I mean, that's just, he dribbled through like 5 or 6 players, nothing really much you can do there.
Right.
But kind of opened up the gate for him there. And then Holland with a typical Holland goal, just kind of figuring it out in the box there. Do you think that was a foul on old Holland on the goal there? A lot of the Arsenal fans were complaining about it after the game. I didn't even think about it until after the game, but I was seeing some of the tugging back and forth between Gabriel and Holland before that goal went in. And did you see anything that should have been called there either way?
I I don't know. I could probably just go. Probably just go either way with it. Like you said, there was some there, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what you. So right before the goal, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, just when they were jockeying for position right before he puts it in.
Oh,
There was some pushing and shoving. Looks like Holland initiated it.
oh. So you're
Obviously, they were
saying
going.
Arsenal thought that he was doing a little too much
Yeah,
and
yeah,
should
like
have
they were
been
saying, it
called
should have been
before.
an offensive foul. Yeah,
Gotchas. I see. I could see that a little bit, but at the end of the day, like it was the winning goal, so you're gonna kind of complain about whatever.
yeah.
You know,
I feel like it's a super weak take by Arsenal fan. Like they
yeah,
they were
that's what I'm leaning
going
for
at each other
sure.
literally the whole game. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Holland initiates it a little bit there, but like, I mean, Gabriel's tugging him right back. I mean, the dude's halfway on the ground when he puts that in. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I I I didn't even see in live being like, yo, what the heck is that? Like that should be a foul kind of thing. So I'm fine with the no call there. I think we got lucky with Gabriel not being sent off for the headbutt when they went head to head.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a pretty big turning point. I think we got a break there. And props to Holland for not going down. If he goes down there, it's probably a red card
Yeah.
for Gabriel. So kind of appreciate him not doing that and being a man about it. But
Yeah.
so I had no issue with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, just
Good. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Good for the refs just kind of keeping the like swallowing the whistle too, like realizing the magnitude of this game. Like
Mm-hmm.
this very well could be the game that decides everything. And so like you don't want to again, like you said, like you're lucky you don't get sent off for a red card for headbutting another player, but it's like at the same time, like that's not how we want the game to be decided. Especially like I mean, Holland scored the winning goal in the 65th minute. There was so much game left to play that you don't want to make the game one sided in a game that of that magnitude. So, letting things go in that situation is kind of I'm glad that they did because the game was decided with everybody left on the field. So that's kind
Yeah.
of where I'm at with it.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say too is like, I mean, the game against Bournemouth, I don't really put that on Arteta as much because I mean, we played terrible. Like the players didn't even look like they wanted to be on the field. So I don't blame him as much for that. We just played terribly, honestly, and just showed no fight. I do blame him some for this game, just with the personnel decisions. I mean, from the first minute, he had Mosquera playing at right back, which I mean, Doku is going to eat him up all day, every day on that
Yeah.
side of the field. I mean, you got a big center back who's a little bit slower going up against a winger who's known for being crafty and for his speed. I mean, all their stuff was coming from that side in the first half. Even if there's not necessarily goals and contributions coming out of that, I mean that matters a lot in the course of the game and creating opportunities. So I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. Not saying that necessarily Ben White should have started or somebody else, but I don't know how you could put a center back there and you got Doku, one of the quickest guys in the world on that side.
Yeah.
And then taking out Eze in the second half, I thought was
Mm.
inexcusable. When you have Odegaard out there, who, I mean, we might need to look for a midfielder in the summer. He's been so bad since he's come back from
Yeah,
injury. I mean,
that's
he literally just
true.
runs around and passes the ball backwards. Like
Uh-huh.
he doesn't do anything. So the fact that he was in there for 90 minutes and Eze got taken out is again inexcusable for me. And then the fact that Gyökeres didn't start over Havertz. I mean, you need a clinical striker there who's gonna, like, the few opportunities that we do have in the game, we need to take them. Obviously, Havertz scored by pressing, and that's why he was ultimately got the start, and that's good. But like some of those opportunities down the stretch, I think if Gyökeres had that 1-on-1, I think he puts that in. I think if Gyökeres had that header, I think he puts that home. So just a couple things like that. I'm just like, what are we doing? So it's frustrating.
Yeah. Might be something in former Manchester City assistant coaches. They gotta let Pep get all the wins all the time. Yeah, because you see stuff like that. and obviously I'm joking, but like you see stuff like that, and it's almost like Pep's in their head. Like they're overthinking how to win this game or what to do, that it just
Yeah, it's
doesn't make sense.
psychological.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense when it comes down to it. Like, different positioning tactics, different people in different positions, not playing certain guys that you've played all year that just seem like right for the situation. It's just like, it's probably because they just overanalyze the game and they're just like, no, we got to do something different. We got to throw them off. And it's like, I don't know, maybe just put your best foot forward and go from there. We don't have to get crazy with it. Just like, just put our best 11 out there, best formation, and we'll just go out. Obviously, it's a little more in depth than that, but I think you get what I'm saying. Just like kind of like resonating what you said. Like, do you want Arteta out? Like, are you getting to that point? Like, you think
I've been
that's
at that point, dude.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, at this, like, I was willing to give him. I think I said at the beginning of the year, if he doesn't win a trophy this year, I want him out. I
mm-hmm.
kind of backtracked on that a little bit when we were about to win the Carabao Cup. I was like, well, the Carabao Cup doesn't count. Still didn't win even that, so that didn't even come into,
Right,
but if we're bottling it from this position, I mean, how can you not? If you're a serious club, if you're, a contender, if you're at the place you want to be where you're competing for Champions Leagues and Prems, like, you can't. And all the Arsenal fans that want to keep him, they're like, oh, well, he's gotten us to this place. I was like, yeah, it's cool he's gotten us like contending again, but if you can't put the finishing touches on some of this stuff, especially
yeah,
when you're 9 and 12 points ahead in the league,
mm-hmm.
like, that's just inexcusable. And especially the positions that we've been in before in the last 3 years, like, we've kind of bottled all three, like, maybe a couple of the years you say, okay, we weren't ready. Okay, Man City was
Yeah,
always going to win that anyway. But the last 2 or 3, like, I mean, we're bottling these games. Like,
yeah,
when we're always falling, like, when is the last time Arsenal went into a must-win game and actually got a dub? Because I can't remember one. Like, maybe
yeah.
last year against Man City, I think we won against them once last year, and everybody thought we were going to win it then. Didn't win it then. So, I mean, they're probably not going to, because, I mean, there's not that many, hot shot coaches that could just, like, that we could just hire. But, I mean, you have to look at it. I mean, a month ago we were talking about a quadruple. Now we're talking about a double that, I mean, Man City is now staring down first place, which we'll get into in a second. And Champions League, like, let's say we make it to a final, like, what are our chances against PSG and Bayern? I mean, I understand it's a one-off, anything can happen, but yeah, so I'm I've been on the bandwagon of Arteta out. Um, just because I feel like he's a proven loser. Like, he's way too psychological. He just doesn't, yeah. He loses when it matters most, I guess, is the best way to put it. And I don't know, like, the tactics aren't there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's proven that he can play good football, but then he resorts to these tactics um that don't get you anywhere. So I
Yeah.
definitely think it's a conversation to be had. But um yeah, that'll be a conversation for in a week or two when we do actually bottle the league, which is a great
There you go.
segue into Man City and their win against Burnley today. 1-0, not very convincing at all, really, on their end. They didn't play great, had a lot of chances, but definitely not the Man City we're used to seeing, being clinical in the final third.
Uh-huh.
Get a nice goal early, which kind of calmed down a lot of maybe the nerves after coming into this game with some of the adrenaline and everything, or whatever you want to call it, from a big time win over the weekend against us. But getting that first goal early, kind of calming everything down. And even though they didn't run away with this one, they did enough to get the dub and officially, um, you know, put Burnley down into the second division, and put them safely into the first position on goals scored. Goal difference is actually dead even right now between Man City and Arsenal,
Yeah.
so they're in first place on goals scored. So
Oh,
officially in second now is Arsenal, but
tough.
everything is even.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because I just took a look at the table and I was like, man, what's the tiebreaker that has them ahead of you guys? So it is the goal scored. Poor Burnley, obviously. That 1-0 Man City coming off that win against you guys is kind of odd, but that's the Prem. Like, you might find yourselves in a close battle with a relegation zone team like Burnley. Poor JJ Watt, and obviously he's kind of like the face of Burnley right now for the US side of things, but that's unfortunate, Sammy. Manchester City technically in first right now, even though you guys are tied on points. So I think we were talking off pot a little bit. The next few games kind of are similar for you guys. Like, your schedules, like, it's not like they have like a super easy schedule and then you're playing like, Aston Villa. Oh, you are playing Aston Villa, but like you don't have like a schedule that's like really, really hard compared to theirs. So
Yeah.
there's still hope at the end of the tunnel, but it's getting dim
Yeah.
fast.
I mean, we have a little bit easier fixtures, and we have Burnley and West Ham still to play, and then a couple mid-table sides like Fulham and Palace. But really on their side, the only team that you'd say, if you're trying to keep everything even, is that Aston Villa on the last match day, because they have Everton, Brentford, Bournemouth, and Palace, all teams that they should be beating. But it's the Prem, so anything can happen. You expect something to kind of twist in the storybook of how this one's going to end. So we'll see.
Yeah. With that being said, I think that's a pod, Sammy. We appreciate you guys for tuning in once again this week. If you guys could, please go like and subscribe on this video. That would really help push this video and our profile out to more people. Also, head on over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Like, rate, and follow there. That would help push us out there as well. Again, we appreciate you guys for listening, and we will see you guys on the next one. All right. Peace.